say congratulations to the class of 2015, but I think we need to congratulate someone who's having a baby right now first. Now, it's really an honor. It makes me feel so happy to congratulate the class of 2015. So congratulations to y'all. It's beautiful to see all of your beautiful faces right here. I know you've worked so hard, and I know it's not just congratulations to you, it's also congratulations to your friends, your family, and everybody else who sacrificed to put you here. So congratulations to your friends, your family, your supporters, friends, family, supporters, the people that are ride or die for you, all of those people, man, that means so much. I'm gonna be quick, but I wanna share some words with you that are very important to me. You know, thank you for the great introduction. I've had the opportunity, I'm from Philadelphia, I'm from North Philadelphia, and I've had the opportunity to travel the world. I've been to over 40 countries. One of the most profound experiences I've ever had happened in a prison. I was in a prison upstate Pennsylvania, and I'm in this prison and I'm doing a writing workshop with these guys. I wasn't an inmate, but I was working with the inmates, and my brother was locked up, and I was doing a writing workshop with these brothers. And one of these brothers in particular was so sharp. He was so gifted with the pen. He was an incredible writer. He had incredible things to say. And so after I was finished the workshop, I was able to actually see where the prisoners spent the bulk of their days and nights. So I get to the cell block, and I see that this one guy, the guy who I'm talking about, Jordan, his cell looked different than all the other cells. And I was trying to figure out what looked different about it. So I did a double take, looked. I couldn't really figure it out. I did a triple take, looked again. Quadruple take, looked again. What's it called if you do it 5 times? That's what I did, but it's like that. So I did it 5 times, and I finally started to realize what was different about Jordan's cell. And I started to get enraged. I started to get so mad, and anger started to bubble up inside of me because I realized that this brilliant brother did not have a bed in his cell. And so I got pissed, you know what I mean? And I didn't know what I could do, but I wanted to do something. So I started getting hyped about it. And he said, "What's wrong, man?" I said, "Well, you don't have a bed." I'm talking about the injustice, and I'm enraged. And he said, "Nah, calm down, man." And he goes underneath his bunk and he shows me that he has a bed. He said, "Nah, man, I got a bed. I just don't sleep on it." So now I'm perplexed. I'm confused. You got a bed, you don't sleep on it. What do you sleep on? Man, I sleep on the floor. I sleep against the steel frame. I sleep against the wall. Anything, but not on that bed, he told me. So now I'm trying to figure out why he has beef with the bed. Like, what did the bed really do to him? You know what I'm saying? Like, was it not soft enough for you or something? I didn't get it, right? And so I asked him a simple question. I say, "Why don't you sleep on that bed?" And his eyes got real serious and intense, and he came closer to me. And he said, "Brother MK, I don't sleep on that bed, right? Because I can't trust comfort in a place like this." He said, "Comfort in a place like this numbs you to the reality of where you really are and why." And so for this brother, sleeping on the floor, sleeping against the wall, all of these things reminded him in that raspy voice of reality every day where he really was and why. And so when I left that prison that day, a couple things hit me. One thing hit me was never settle. Never be too comfortable with your situation, no matter what the situation is. Always keep pushing. Always keep pushing. Never be too comfortable with where you are. Definitely never be too comfortable in jail, right? Or in those kind of situations. Because we can get comfortable in those situations. So never settle. Never settle. Always keep pushing. The second thing that came out of that conversation for me was a mantra that I came up with that has been guiding my life and everything I do. The mantra is simple. If you make an observation, you have an obligation. Observation, obligation. Observation, obligation. You want to see something? Make it happen. Why don't we have this? Make it happen. That's what our ancestors have been doing, right? Harriet Tubman made an observation. Harriet Tubman's observation was that her people were enslaved. They were in bondage. So she risked her life, her livelihood, her everything to get her people free. And you know what she said? She said, "I freed 1,000 slaves, but I could have freed 10,000 if only they knew they were slaves." Yeah. made an observation. He made an observation. The great writer, author, playwright, singer, lawyer, Renaissance man, he made an observation that his people were struggling in bondage, and so he used everything he could, his art, his life, to make sure that he could change it. That was his obligation, right? So when you make an observation, you have an obligation. In my work, in my life, this has been true. I made an observation one time that we don't have a film that celebrates us as black people. And so I told this observation to someone who I didn't know. Her name was Dr. Maya Angelou. And she wrote me back, and she called me back, and Dr. Angelou became my mentor. And we made an obligation together to make a film called The Black Candle, which celebrates the black experience. And so I went to Dr. Maya Angelou's house for the first time in 2008, and I sat at her feet, and she shared things with me. She said, MK, when you get, give, and when you learn, teach. When you get, give, and you learn, teach. You know, I told her I was nervous. I was working on this book called Buck at the time. I was nervous about it. She quoted the poet Terence, the Roman poet. She said, "You are a human being, therefore nothing human is alien to you. Don't you ever be afraid of any situation. Don't you ever feel like you don't belong in any situation. You belong everywhere. You are a human being, therefore nothing human is alien to you." She told me that charisma is when you walk into the room with every kind word that's ever been spoken to you. You walk into the room with every hand that's ever been gently laid upon you in a loving way. You walk into the room with every quote that's ever inspired you. You walk into the room with your grandma's hands. You walk into the room with every piece of art that ever inspired you. She said, when you do that, people say you have charisma. And so this particular night when Dr. Angelou was telling me all these things, her name was Auntie Maya. She insisted that I call her Auntie Maya, but I can't stop calling her Dr. Angelou. But Auntie Maya told me, she said, charisma is when you walk into the room, you bring all of that. She said, you're doing an event tonight. I said, yes I am, Dr. Angelou. She said, Auntie Maya. I said, yes I am, doing an event tonight. She said, bring me with you, even though I can't come. And I knew what she meant. She meant bring that energy, bring that spirit. So for you, class of 2015, as you go out into the world and do all types of great things, remember to bring this energy, this feeling that you have right now, this sense of accomplishment. Bring that with you in every room you walk into. And remember, you're a human being, therefore nothing human is alien to you. You belong everywhere. Don't ever let anybody tell you what you can or can't do. None of that. You know, I'm so honored to be here. You know, for those who don't know, this year, all the students here read my memoir, which is called Buck, and it is an example of the graceful survival against impossible circumstances. I'm not supposed to be here. You're not supposed to be here. We're not supposed to be doing this right here, right now. But we are. Right? And so it's an example of that, right? It's an example of education, miseducation, street education, self-education, re-education, the difference and the distance between school and education. Because the reality is your education is always happening. You graduate in school now, but education continues and continues and continues and goes on and goes on and goes on and goes on and goes on. For me, it was the blank page that saved my life. The blank page that inspired me, the blank page that made me realize why reading was illegal for black people during slavery. I remember making that recognition that reading was actually illegal for black folks. I mean, can you imagine that? You know, I'm here as an author, as a writer of books, but my people weren't even allowed to read. Our people weren't even allowed to read. It was illegal. I could be locked up back in the day, and I could look at you and say, hey, what you in here for? You could say, man, I was on chapter 8, and they just busted it. You really got booked for a book. That used to happen back in the day, and I remember having that epiphany and having that realization why that's happened. It's because we think of words, we think in words, we sub-vocalize. Words are powerful. So read, continue to learn, continue to grow, continue to evolve your mind. It's so important, right? The more things we read, the more things we know, the more things we can think about, the infinite possibilities there are. And there's only a couple other things I want to share with you, a couple other mantras. Another mantra that's been very dear to my life is, people ask me sometimes, well, what advice would you give to someone graduating or someone trying to do something that's never been done before, or going into a new field, going into a new area, trying to better themselves? And I say, eliminate distractions, create energy, fear nothing, and attack all opportunities. Eliminate distractions, create energy, fear nothing, and attack all opportunities. And there are going to be moments of difficulty. On the road to success, many obstacles. I remember when they said it wasn't logical, when they was like, it's really just improbable. They tried to tell me my dreams impossible, but now it seems the ball unstoppable. Number one, do the math untoppable. We're just warming up, we still got a lot to do. Look in the mirror like, really, who's stopping you? Nobody, from the lobby to the rooftop. Now we influential, no flu shot, Newton's law of motion, and we don't stop. Celebration, we made it. I remember North Philly, them dirty basements, pavements, blank pages where our pain went, to pavements backstage, the world changing. Ballou STAY, living the dream, amazing. There's so many paths that we can go down from this road. There's so many things that we can do. I appreciate that. There's so many things that we can do. I just want to share one final quick story with you. And it's an old preacher's tale. People always ask me about this generation and what we're going to do. Will this generation continue the legacy of our ancestors? Will we drop the ball? Where will we go from here? And it makes me think of this old tale. And the old tale is this. There were these children one day that went to this blind woman's house, right? The blind woman's name was Miss Sally. And Miss Sally, she was blind so she couldn't see. But she did have vision, which is different. So she had vision but no sight. And so they come to Miss Sally's house and they knock on the door. Miss Sally! All the kids are there. They say, Miss Sally, we have a bird in our hand. Is it dead or alive? And Miss Sally kind of looked out into the distance and she told the kids, she said, you have a bird in your hand, you're asking me if it's dead or alive. She said, I don't know the answer to that. There's only one thing that I know. And they said, well, what's that? She said, it's in your hands. When we think about our future, when we think about our generation, think about those kids with that bird in their hand. They could choose to crush that bird under the pressure and grip of their hands, or they could let that bird do something else. They could let that bird do what it was intended to do originally. So when I look at us, when I look at our generation, when I look at these beautiful graduates, all I know is it's in our hands. Choose to fly. Much love.